Welcome back to the channel, folks. We are moving on to part 2 of the recent centennial auction. November 1st and 6th acquisition live auction. And we had a couple times mentioned in the previous episode where we acquired some really cool stuff between the auction and the private sale. Schofield Auctions, aka Centennial Auctions, provides 4 or 5 live auctions a year, and the turnout is small and intimate, usually certainly less than 100 people and sometimes less than 50 or 60 people, but there was, this was part 2. Part 1, there was not a lot of action on a lot of these, so you obviously can go in the morning and lot view everything prior to, you're not buying the stuff blind. You can look at anything you want in as much detail as you want. Let me just adjust this so that my personal info is not clearly visible. All right, so full disclosure on the invoice. So he's pretty strategic in the way he does these things. So like if you look at, for instance, lot 41A, B, and C, they're all the same. He will take bids on the first one, and the high bidder will have the option of buying as many of the lots. You can buy just one, or you can buy them all, or any number in between. And what that does is it encourages people who want them to bid, because there's a possibility that the first winning bidder will take all the lots. And then if that first winning bidder does not take them all, he will then move on to the whatever lots were not sold and reopen the bidding from the beginning. So it's a bit of a gamble to not bid strong on that first one. So in the case of A, B, and C, we took them all. 185, which was more than we probably wanted to pay, but we took a look at those, and some of those were XFAU, S&D, like 34 S&D, 35 S&D, 36 S&D, 37S, which is a tougher date in XF, etc., etc. 20% buyer's premium, put those up to over 22 times face, certainly a lot more than we would pay for standard junk silver. But they weren't junk silver. There was a lot of world coins. You can see like lot 186, lot 111 was at 0, and it says sold with lot 110, and that's because when he was bidding on lot 110, he has the Kraus catalog for the 10 pieces, a catalog at 450. No one met the opening bid. The bid started so low, he said, we'll put lots 110 and 111 together. So 16 pieces with a catalog of 7 something, which means they'll probably sell for a couple hundred. But look at lot 106, catalog 1130. You can see it sold for $100. So we said we'll take a chance on it. We're not really super familiar with Australian sixpences or Great Britain shillings, but at those numbers, really couldn't go wrong. So some of those were very cool indeed. Canadian albums, as you see here. Newfoundland half dollars, the 20-cent pieces, the large cents, etc. And then, so page 2 of that. More Canadian, we had the Canadian dollars right there, lot number 155. 1946 was in that set, 1948 rather, which is why it went for $560 plus buyer's premium, $672. It was a 54-piece set with the 1948. So we bought a lot of world coins. We've got a few different Walk and Liberty sets, as you can see. We picked up 12 collections. collector knives, lot 271A, in the original box. 12 of them for $150 plus 30, 20%, $180. And that was, Remington bullet knives with the box. Never been opened, never been used. $15 each. I've already sold 2 of them at over 50 a piece, so, it's a coin channel, but, if we can get a good deal on other antiques or other collectibles, we will certainly take advantage of that. So, BU rolls down here. That's the rolls we were talking about. Again, no opening bid. Nobody was bidding on the rolls, so we got sold with lot 342. So we got these 12 different varieties, along with those 2 rolls for $380. And the 2 rolls alone, gray sheet, is $385. So we basically got those for free. And then we got all those rolls. And there were more rolls to come. There was nickel rolls, lot 426. And then the ANACS Slab, fine 12 Verge, that went for $300, which I thought was a no-brainer. And we showed this on the first video, where this is a Generation 4 ANA Photo Slab, and Generation 4 was not around very long, I think less than a year. And let's see, we are going to try to find it on here, but for now, while the computer is rebooting, this was certified or graded in May of '82 to Verge Marshall. They graded the obverse and reverse as a fine 12. This is a no D Lincoln cent with a weak reverse. They didn't note the weak reverse because back then they actually didn't differentiate that die pair in the early 80s. So I think we have the ANA Photo Slab page right up here. Here we go. We'll show that on the computer. So ANACS Slab Generation Showcase. All right, so let's see if I can. That's not the right one. Let's see. It's still loading. The Generation 10. All right, it's catching up. Let's see if we can get it to the beginning here. Yeah, this computer's very slow, but here we go. It's catching up. It's lagging. We've got, okay. Almost there. Here we go. All right, so this was a Google document provided through Collectors Universe CU forums. As you can see, forumscollectors.com. It's a PCGS sponsored forum where people can talk about coins and so forth, but a link to this photo slab. What happens when you reboot the computer? A link to this photo slab history will show you that the first photo slab, which you're looking at right here in the middle, 1977. Actually, I don't think that's the first one. I think the first one's 1972. All right, so yeah, so photo certificate type 1 issued from June of 72 to August of 76, and that's what it looked like. And it tells you the scarcity, it's rare, right? So then we move on to the next one. And photo slab type 2, very scarce, September of 76 through December of 78. No grades were given at this point. Just a statement that the piece is genuine. All right, and then if we move on to type 3, certificate issued from December of 78 to 81, we're getting close to mine. Now we've got the first grades. Owners could pay extra and it would receive it with a grade. So here we have an ADS Morgan dollar with an obverse grade of 63, reverse of 65, the registered owner, so forth and so on. A stamp, picture of the coin, front, obverse, and reverse. You can see that toning at EP for E pluribus matches the photo. So certainly that's the same coin. And we move to Generation 4. This one seems to match exactly the one we have. Oh, I'm going to go 3.1 first. All right, so 3.1. Newly discovered July of 2020. Was only issued for a few months. All right, so that's a very scarce one. Must be a 3.2. Let me see. Nope, 4.0. Okay, so this is the one I do believe May of 81 through May of 82. You can see this is May of 82. So in terms of course, now the 1 second, the browser decided to change on me. All right, so Photo Slab type 4, you can see the writing and of course the genie lamps up the top, the blue genie lamps, in our opinion, yada yada yada, ANACS number, and then there's the genie lamps. In our opinion, ANACS number, registered, so forth and so on. ANACS number, right, everything is there. The color is right, everything is right. So I'm convinced that this is a Generation 4, which basically was issued for all of 1 year. Uncommon, not as rare, but certainly not what you see every day. So for the Photo Slab collectors, to come across a Type 4 with a plain 22 cent is a pretty decent find, and it was $3.60 with the buyer's premium. So the week reverse, not only characterized by the week reverse, but the last 2 in the date is week. So you got full rims, and it's probably a fine 12 in today's standard. I originally thought it's probably a VG10, but the more I looked at it, you know, this reverse is weak, and it's supposed to be weak, right? So, interesting. Maybe because of a lack of a left full rim, but it's a weak straight, weak reverse by definition. So I'm not sure how PCGS would grade this. I'm inclined to think it's probably a VG10 by today, but it's close, very close. I've got SVDBs that are in VF20 holders that I expected not even a fine grade on. So some of the other items that we'll share in this video, and we'll go on, we'll only do a few things per video so we can kind of spend time on them. But this came from the private sale, not from the auction. And I do collect AccuGrade and ANA slabs for all generation, including the genie lamp holders, the plastic slabs themselves. Obviously, AccuGrade, some people find them very collectible, other people think they're garbage, so to each their own. But to find a saint in an AccuGrade holder, let's just say it's the first one I've found, A365C, which by their definition is a full strike, dull or cleaned, I guess is what that is. And, you know, I don't know how you have an A and a C. I'm not really A, capital A with a small c. I think the small c at the end is commercial grade. So I've read that somewhere before, but A and 3 up here, capital A. So it's not a proof. So we're going to go by the top. So full strike, dull, or cleaned. I don't see it as cleaned. I don't, you know, grade saints all that often, but there's no hairlines and there's nothing there. It's got nice luster. There's really nothing there that leads me to think it's cleaned. I also don't think it's a 65. I think it's a 63. But I think it's got a nice orange peel reverse, which is something that's desirable. You see the orange up in the dollars, up in the words of America and dollars. So I think it's a nice collectible piece that is not something that we see every day. I mentioned we came across a lot of world coins. We also 1995, Florida United Numismatics. This was one of 6,000 made. 60th anniversary of the fun show. And nice presentation case, similar to a lot of the Silver Eagle sets done by the U.S. Mint. Let's open it. And inside we have special mint metal, China Panda, fun show. First reverse proof issued, proof 69. And it's one of 6,000 with a certificate of authenticity. Total mintage of 6,000 pieces. Blah, blah, blah. So that was cool. That was very cheap. That was less than $40. And it's an ounce of silver. It's, you know, who knows if it will turn out to be anything of substance in the long run, but pandas are something that a lot of people are interested in. And to come across a government uncut sheet of 1991 pandas is not something you see every day. But not only do we come across that uncut sheet in original government plastic of 1991 pandas, but we actually also got a second one. So we have two, I believe they're 10-1 silver pandas. So that was really cool. There were a lot of other pandas that were being sold at the auction in government plastic. Obviously, this 2002, 3, 4, run up to 2008, and then there was some older ones. 1989, 96, 1990, they're out of order. 98, 99, a couple of these are tougher dates. Most of these are probably worth, you know, 50, 60 bucks. Some of them are worth over 100. There was not in government plastic. But there was also cool Isle of Man 2014 Angel and a proof koala and another proof koala and a bunch of Lunar Series coins. Love the Lunar Series coins. I think the dragon's my favorite. Couple of monkeys, couple of dogs, couple of snakes. Love the rabbit. Oh, that's different, but 5-ounce bar. But speaking of koalas, there was another koala that was a little bigger than 1 ounce. Just put this to the side. It's over here. And we're going to have to rearrange the way we're doing this. Let's put this over here. Alright, so in this box, we had this koala. A kookaburra, sorry. I keep saying koala. 1 kilo kookaburra from 1995. That was a pretty cool find. And really nice. I don't know if they would grade this. $30, I'm kidding. $30 face value. You'd have to be a little bit out of your mind to spend that as a face value coin. And like I said, we had a lot of world coins. We had bags of bags. Mostly Canadian, Great Britain dimes there. See that Victorian one, so there's a lot of ones from pre-1900 here as well. There's a couple hundred in that bag alone. And they went for, I don't want to say nothing, but next to nothing. We had a bunch of albums, but we also had this pretty cool album in this plastic 2x2, and it's a complete set with varieties. A lot of low mintage half dollars from Newfoundland here. You can see mintage of 50,000, 28,000, 24, so forth. But this complete set went for, you saw the invoice, not a lot. And then we had all the various albums. Up a little, capture a little more space. All right, so we get the Canadian dimes. This is a modern set of dimes. Nothing special really there. That just was kind of a throw-in. Of course, a couple of them had to come out of the holes, and we'll put them back in so we don't get lost. Canadian half dollars. Some really nicely toned ones, and there were some PL examples as well. You see that reflectivity under the plastic, it doesn't show as well. But there was like that 1944's got some really nice color. And I think the next page. Yeah, look at that, 1949. Also the 52. And there was some pretty nice coins in here, and these went really cheap, really cheap. And that was a complete set. You can see the price tag from the former owner or dealer, whoever it was. We had another dime book, a Library of Coins album. It was only partially filled out, but there was some low mintage pieces that go back to, that one slid through, but some damaged ones, but early 1900s. It starts with obviously the mid 1800s and runs all the way up through the modern ones. And that was part of the dimes, and along with another dime album. Same thing, another partial. So this previous collector was really into Canada. He also had a few large cent albums. Look quite nice, not in this album, but the next album. Probably not your thing, or not a lot of people's things, but cool. This other large, this is the dollar album. There's a large cent album underneath it. Hold on, there's a few things here. There's this one, and then there's another one. I think that one is complete. Some are nicer than others. Hard to tell through the plastic. There was one more. This one was pretty nice, I thought, just the way the album was set up. The lighting's not great here. It's a complete set. And some uncs in there and some XFAUs in there. few that need some verticare for sure. And then the Canadian Dollar album, which some of these are kind of beat up. Some of them are in better shapes than others. Doesn't have every date, but it does have 1948. Some nicely toned ones and a lot of PL ones. That 54, I think the 57 was really nice. Maybe it was, yeah, there's two 57s, but they were pretty nice. Obviously quite common. The 55 has PVC. So some of these will need some TLC. Get these out of the way. We'll close out tonight's video with a few of these, and again, we'll be here all night going through them all. I'm not going to do that. We had a lot of slabbed Great Britain stuff. Nothing spectacularly valuable. So this is how like one lot would come. That's the lot number. And within that lot number, you can go to the preview. You can see that these are AU or BU even. Some of these are quite scarce in those upper grades. Nicely toned flooring. 1916. Another nicely toned King George. Another flooring. Another one. Lots of stuff there. I mean, some of this stuff literally went for $3 a coin after you broke it down or did the math. $5 a coin. There were a couple of German key date coins. Not those Third Reich coins, although those are pretty desirable too. But there's so many. I've only barely scratched the surface here. But I mean, pretty much everything on this table came from that auction. And then, you know, not just on this table, but there was this, I've already taken this roll apart, but there was this roll of 79S dollars, and we've already taken out a half a dozen to send in the PCGS. There's those walkers that you saw the bids on. That's why they were 22 times face. They were pretty much close to AU, XFAU. this stuff here. It's one of those 79S's. It's a pretty nice 1918. I took the other one out. There was a 19D, and it's already on its way to PCGS. And then there was a bunch of Barbers, 19090, and a few other ones, 21D, PD and S Walkers. You can see it under there, the 21. But there's the 21, the 21D is right there. The 21S is under there, so the list goes on. That whole box of Barber dimes. There was some good ones in there, 04S, 020 and XF. 93S over S, 93S. On, but anyways, we'll wrap things up there, and next video we will get into some of the other stuff that came from the recent auction and private sales over the last couple weeks. So like, comment, subscribe. samscoinsandheavymetal.com, samscoinsandheavymetal@gmail.com. Find us on eBay, Sam's Coins and Heavy Metal, _ in between each word. And if there's anything you have a question on or anything you might be interested in, send us an email or leave a comment in the chat. Thank you guys. Have a good one.